Boom.
I still think it's cool that you and I dance along to that music. What I love is every time one of our guests dance along to it. Do you remember when Maria was dancing along
Yeah.
to?
Like just it's a very catchy tune, I just do it half to stay awake. But yeah, it's like adrenaline pumping. Come on.
Adrenaline.
Let's
So
do it.
tonight,
Yes.
we're talking snakes.
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 Chinese snakes.
Chinese snakes. Now, hilariously, I was telling someone about this episode. I was telling Walter. Remember Walter?
Yeah.
And Walter said, "Oh, I'd like to join you for that. I'd like
Where
to
is
talk
he?
about Choi Hark's white snake." I'm like, "Dude, you're with wrong snakes."
No,
We're not talking
those
about
are not the snakes we're talking
Yeah.
about.
And then he said, "Okay, I'll join you guys next time." So it's just you and I tonight.
All right.
And any of our viewers who tune in for this 1 hour snake fest.
Yeah.
But before we do snakes, we want to talk about another movie just slightly for a couple of minutes, don't we?
Okay, yeah, just slightly, a little bit. I think it's finally time. I've been asking for it for a few weeks, so I'm gonna ask again, and let's see what the reaction is. So, Dan, have you watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre already?
I did, and it was the most insulting, the most offensive, the most horrible movie that could ever been given the name Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, and I would
even worse than the cross-dressing Matthew McConaughey Renee Zellweger version.
I say, go ahead. Start at the
so
beginning.
What didn't I like about it?
I would want to know of all the points. What is insulting? What is the thing you thought was horrendous? Yeah. So I'm waiting.
All right.
Please.
So firstly, the 4 characters are shockingly bad, and
okay.
I'm not sure whether they're deliberately bad to make us hate them so that we want to see them die, or if that truly is what American filmmakers think that the audience wants in characters. We had look, the guy that was in it, the black guy, that's fine. I don't mind his character. He was a little bit too woke for my liking. The blonde wife, she gets killed early, so that's fine. But curly hair, I want to change the world, bitch. Oh my God, she was horrible.
Yes.
And then her androgynous looking, pronoun wearing sister who survived the school shooting. I actually did a 180 on her. I hated her. And then she flipped when the toilet scene where she comes out of the toilet and she goes to her sister, "Do you think I fucked him?" I flipped and actually liked it. I like the hillbilly dude. He was cool.
Who died too soon?
Yeah, he didn't deserve to die. I was begging for curly hair chick to get her head cut off, and thankfully the movie delivered, because
so that means that at least you're happy at the end, right?
And then he piffed the chainsaw at the car, and I thought, all right, at least you've ended it okay. But really, that whole movie was just, it was a very interesting insight into woke America, gentrification America, this whole interfering with people's lives without knowing anything about them, killing the lady even though she had a deed to the house. Everyone knew who these people were. The scene where the policeman turned up and all of a sudden he thinks, I'm going to get racially profiled and I'm going to get killed. It was awful. It was truly awful. If I think back to the 70s version, it was four teenage. Oh, and don't get me started on the chick who's been waiting 50 years for her revenge, only to get killed easily. But I think of the original, and it was 4 teenagers, a white van, and 80 minutes of constant screaming. That's what I remember about the first movie. And Tobe Hooper pulled off a fantastic film. That was shit. That was utter shit. That made Scream look like a brilliant film. End rant.
Okay, that's interesting, because it seems that the reasons why you thought it was horrendous and why it was offensive is exactly because I hear that a lot. I hear that people think it's offensive. They think it's horrendous, but they all think it for the different reasons. Like, your reason is because you hated the characters. Like, oh, do really people think that these are characters people want to see? well, I hear most people like, oh, this is such a stab towards city folk. I feel insulted for
Oh,
being
really?
portrayed this way. So I think it's funny that both sides of the aisle at the end think it's insulting. In one has to see it, and the other one thinks it's personal for them,
Oh.
which is very interesting. I personally had none of that.
Oh,
I actually liked the movie, and I am in the minority here.
yeah.
I hated the girl with the curls, but the
Oh,
movie at the end delivered.
yes.
No, I was ready to throw the movie in the garbage the moment she uppercut Leatherface with a
With a
chainsaw.
chainsaw. Oh, what the
I
hell was
mean,
that
the
shit?
fact that
Yeah.
that small nothing girl, it kind of became into Mary Sue Ray territory. That she
Yeah.
just with a chainsaw is able to knock down that big ass retard Leatherface,
Yeah.
like that has more strength than she has in tenfold in his little pinky, but she is able to uppercut this big ass guy on the ground, and I
Hmm.
was like, what the fuck? Because I really was so afraid that they were going to push it too far with this women can do anything. But
Mm.
then the one who wants revenge dies. Then at the end, the curly girl gets her head cut off,
Oh,
which for me
beautiful.
was a standing ovation.
Yeah.
I was clapping. I was happy. I think a lot of people who watched that movie was happy to see her die. Sure. Um, I also noticed that Adrona, the genderless girl, she was clearly had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But what I did like is the fact that they give her this school shooting background, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna make her pacifist. They're gonna make her I cannot touch a gun. But then she just shoots the shotgun. Although she's the one who grabs the gun and just learns that she needs them to protect herself besides being on the helplessly all week because guns are at play. Now the thing is, I felt that this movie was actually made um not by wokists but more by the other side making a statement about wokists, or at
Oh,
least,
wow.
and in my opinion they were more giving the audience what they wanted, but then also not, because I'm pretty sure is that a lot of people are insulted that it has this what they would call uh, um, tone deaf or distasteful school shooting background, especially with the political things going on, all the school
Hmm.
shootings in America. But then the fact that she actually then embraces guns in order to save her life must be a bigger smack in the face for everyone who's politically on the no gun zone, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fact that the girl curly hair gets her head cut off, I think that is just the filmmakers. You want this, right? You maybe
Yeah.
it was even a test screening. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. The girl who you don't really, well, it's a girl, clearly a girl.
Mm.
The lead girl, she wasn't that annoying for me. I was
She
afraid
got better.
that
She got better.
yeah, I was afraid they
Yeah.
were gonna make her this poster girl for wokeness. I was afraid with the whole conservative flag thing. I was like, oh, what
Oh,
are they gonna
yeah.
do? They have
That's,
to, have the race card in there, and but
hmm.
then they didn't really do anything with it. They didn't really, they put it there. They made a little sketch of it, but then it was just pure panic afterwards, and it all went away. It was
Yeah.
like, and I think that's also the point. Like, if Leatherface is behind you, is like coming after you, it doesn't matter your color, your race, your gender, you're
Yeah.
dead. I
Dead.
think that's kind of the message, maybe. And I also noticed a lot of people thought it was so anti-city folk, and it's like, and it was so on the nose with the cops who pull you over, and I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah.
actually it was the opposite, because you thought these cops were gonna pull them over and be
Mm.
like, we don't want your kind here, but actually they were nice. They were like,
Yep.
oh,
Absolutely.
you got deeds, okay, well, go then. And they
Mm.
even helped them get the lady out of the house. So
Mm.
I do think that
Yeah. I
people
wasn't
are
expecting that actually.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
people who are offended by the movie on the basis of the portrayal of the characters with offensiveness towards city folk or woke people are the woke people that feel insulted. But I think it's interesting that you, as a not so woke person,
Mm.
actually are also insulted because you have to look at these characters.
Well, I'm looking at the destruction of horror franchises throughout the past year
Yeah.
and hating where
Mm,
it's going. We've seen Candyman get completely ruined. We've
mm,
seen Scream get not completely ruined, but pretty insulting.
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw
Okay.
Massacre is a complete failure.
All right.
Anything that Jordan Peele touches is horrendous.
Okay.
It's absolutely awful. And I know people are going to disagree with me and say that he's the most brilliant director of modern times when it comes to horror. He is not.
Oh,
Us was
don't
a
forget.
terrible film.
It seems that the Batman is the biggest cinematic masterpiece, and you heard my
Yeah, well, I do
feelings
remember
about
your
that
rant.
last week. Yeah.
Anyway, I want to talk about something better now. I'm sick
Okay.
of American shit. So
I do want to add one last thing about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because you said, it's this decline of horror. Well, if you wanted a Badaduke or whatever the name is, if you want that elevated horror, that's not what it is. But for
That's
me, a
true.
movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is all about the gore and the shock factor, and in my opinion, it delivered. It's the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie of all of them that actually has a massacre and a chainsaw massacre to boot. So none of them have that. So I give them props for that.
Yeah, fair
Sure,
enough.
I didn't. The characters were annoying, but I didn't
Mm.
mind them as much. Of course, I hated the uppercut, but it was totally redeemed with the decapitation. So for me personally, superficially, for a lover of gore, I had my money's worth. So, and that's the only thing I want to end it there.
Fair enough. But just
Sure,
how old is Leatherface? Because if there's a 45 to 50 year
he should
gap,
be 70 in that movie,
yeah,
60 or
there's
70.
no way a 70-year-old was doing that. So
No, this is true.
yeah.
Of course,
Anyway,
just sure, disbelief, right? This
absolutely.
I mean, it's like yeah, sure, if you want the atmospheric horror film, no, that's not it. If you want an elevated horror film, no, that's not it. But for a pure splatter movie, I give it props. I liked
Fair
it.
enough. So what's not a
Okay.
splatter film
Yes.
are what we looked at this week for tonight's episode.
Mm.
Excuse me, I've got a bit of reflux.
Mm.
That's the Coca-Cola.
That was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reflux you had there.
Yes. Right? We looked at four movies.
4.
Monty Python 2, which has nothing to do with the British band. Snake, which I believe is also called Big Snake in Chinese.
It's called Snakes, actually, with an S.
Snakes, sorry.
But it's weird because Yuko themselves also write it as Snake, so I guess it's interchangeable.
Then we got Snake 3, Snake versus Dinosaur, which we couldn't find Snake 1 or 2 to match the series.
No.
And then we had Snake Girl, which was probably the outlier of the 4 movies.
True.
So how are we going to start this?
Well, let's just start with Snake. The one that is just one snake. Snake. So let's start with Snake.
Screenshots. Yeah.
All right. One thing to start with, you'll notice that with all the screenshots we have today, you have the Yuku logo in the corner. All these movies are basically Yuku original movies that are being, how you call that? They're being, I forgot the word, commissioned. In order to make original hour-long-ish monster movies for on that channel. So, and I noticed, like I said last time with all the shark movies, these directors just had to make a shark movie and then they just do whatever they want. The same thing with the alligator film. Now, again, with this snake movies, it's basically directors delivering on the concept of the snake, and besides that, just do whatever they want. Snake Girl makes it romantic. Monty Python makes it a comedy. Snake 3 really goes Jurassic World. And then Snake,
doesn't it?
This one, Snake is 100% Anaconda blood. What was it? Blood Diamond? The
I haven't
second
seen
one.
Anaconda.
Blood Orchid, I believe.
But
yeah, what do you think about Snake?
Out of all of the films,
yes,
I loved Snake because it felt the most fully fleshed in regards to a film. It felt like it had a proper intro, a proper middle, and a proper ending. A lot of these monster movies just don't have proper endings.
They have one scene, basically, one prolonged hour-long scene. Yeah.
This had a great cast of characters. It actually had a really good, solid cast of characters. I what I love about these movies, and this one in particular, is it's really looked at the American movies and copied them word for word. Copied them instead of having the buff rednecks who love guns. We've got these massive Chinese soldiers who love guns. You know,
Yeah, it's
when
like
the
a
guy
wolf warrior, you know. China loves their armies, right? So I also noticed that if there are guns involved, it's never like a few guys, it's always army or like little
armies.
groups, military.
Yeah, and so when the guy cuts the snake's head off to parade it around, I'm just imagining an American movie with an American character doing the exact same thing, like being a show off. The only thing I don't like about snakes is that there's too many other monsters. The giant toad, the
piranhas.
Piranhas, or what do they call them?
Giant
Butterfish.
toad is a different movie.
Oh, the giant toads. Yeah. Well, this one has
piranhas,
the vines. The vines.
Yeah.
So look, I understand it can't all be snakes, and that's fine. But I think out of all of them, its effects aren't great. It certainly needs improvement in the special effects department.
All of them.
And then we get the excellent behind the scenes where we actually see it was shot on location in a jungle with a pretty clued on visual effects crew who knew exactly what they were doing with wire camera. Seeing the wire camera was awesome. Seeing the drones were awesome. And I was watching it, turning to my wife saying, that shot's fantastic. That's a drone shot, or that's a wire shot. And really creative. There's even a shot at the start where it goes from outside of his apartment into his apartment through the window. And I thought, oh, that looks terrific.
Yeah, there's in these line of movies we're looking at today, there is some interesting camera work. All of them have their own specific interesting camera work. I noticed with snakes, especially when looking at the making of, what I was very surprised about is how many different style of cameras they used. It is not just one big cinema camera. They also just use little handhelds wherever they need to run around and to beat a snake, let's say. So that is all very interesting how they implemented multiple techniques. And yeah, it's also very surprising if you look at the making of that it's all done. Yeah, that's actually done and not all green screen, or you would expect most of that.
I like the puppet snake. Did you see the puppet snake?
The puppet snake. Yeah.
Yes. Loved it. Loved the puppet snake.
This is So this one was one of the better ones. This was also when you showed me the shark movies that I was looking further and I found this and I watched it. I was pleasantly surprised about the coherentness of a film, let's say.
Well, speaking of shark movies, this is the guy from Land Shark.
Yeah, true.
So there's a link. It's from the same production company. So yeah, that makes sense. And I don't think you've got a photo of the fat dude, but he was also in Land Shark
I don't.
too.
The screenshots are pretty random. But yeah, that is someone. So let's before we go for a round 1, round 2, 1, 3, let's talk about Snake 3 for a second. What do you think about that?
I just didn't like the fact that she never talked. The girl there, she never.
Oh, you mean the tough girl?
Yeah, and she clearly had a thing for the doctor. She clearly liked the scientist.
Yeah, well, obviously the scientist already he was taken.
Yeah, well, that's true. All right, Snake 3. Snake 3 started off a bit slow. Started off very
scene though. That opening scene, the first 5 minutes is freaking awesome. I was like, for a Chinese movie, especially one of these.
It definitely gave off a Jurassic World vibe. With getting the kid the tickets and getting on the bus.
And it was also amusement park as far as I knew, something like that.
Well, was going to be an amusement park. Yeah. Yes. I didn't think the story made a lot of sense. It story didn't feel that great in this one.
It's fantastic. It's a little fairy tale-ish.
The cast of characters was really off with this. While I like the professor, his assistant just kind of makes no sense at all. The mother, she was fine. The kid, I like the fact that the kid had some adversity that he had to overcome with his injured foot, and there's a backstory about him being abandoned or fear of being abandoned. Yeah, yes, that stupid toad that was in the film. And also, the guy is from one of the Crocodile movies. He always plays a drunk in these movies, so it was good to see another familiar face in the film.
But there's it's like almost only so many production companies that are churning these movies out. True. So you have the same actors. For Snake 3, character-wise, I was very surprised because all the snakes are always bad guys, in a way. They're always the one killing everyone. And this one clearly went for the snake as the good guy. Mm-hmm. It was the friend of the little kid. It was very Spielberg-esque that the little kid became friend with the big snake. That basically it was, I thought, actually quite smart, because the kid found the nest of the eggs, and then the eggs are being broken by Velociraptor type creatures, and then he hid himself into one of the eggs in order to not get eaten by one of those mini T-Rexes, or I think it was a Velociraptor type of thing. And at least because it then came out of the egg, the snake thought it was his kid.
Yes.
And I thought that was great. Well, we're getting
I'm gonna just remove that. Don't worry.
We're getting hardcore spam in our comment section. What's going on here?
We are. I will get rid of that. Don't worry.
And it's a lot. Is that automated? Is that a bot?
Yeah, that looks like a bot. So sorry about that.
All right. So, but if we have a viewer who is quick enough, they can watch the girls there.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone going to any of those links that have just popped up there.
I thought the effects of Snake 3 were pretty good. I liked the story. I thought it was okay. I was waiting for the big confrontation, and I think that the VFX were not the best, but very charming. I loved the at the end when they get into the Jeep and drive around in that obviously fake landscape, and then obviously that Jeep didn't move anywhere. It was just a camera moving around the Jeep, because the Jeep was it had no motion blur. It was super sharp. But I kind of like that effect, and maybe I'm gonna get inspired by that for something, because I actually loved how that looked. So I thought that was a cool effect. It had a lot of, and then the dinosaur looked fucking awesome. I mean, I did think that although it wasn't the best effects, they did look really good, and especially the ones there in the opening scene and the ending scene, very atmospheric. I thought it was very well done. So yeah, props for that. So you want to go to Snake Girl? Snake Girl. My favorite of all of them, I must say.
I knew it would be your favorite.
Yes, because I am a closet case romantic, so it is kind of a romantic movie. It has also that fish out of water storyline, with this jungle girl being in the modern, in the modern city life, and then having to adapt, and comedy ensues. But
how the hell did you get that screenshot of the bat?
That was just by chance. It's lucky. It's just
a good one.
But what I liked the most, or what surprised me the most when I started, because I knew it was going to be about this guy finding the snake girl and all that. But what I was surprised about was how the action scenes were shot, especially in the beginning. It was so theatrical. It was like you had guys flying with arrows, and I have one shot here with a dude with a machine gun, like super large, just hanging in a tree. Just like the next. Oh, I think we already saw it. But
you saw it. Let me have a look.
No, it should have been right there, but I didn't see it come by. But it's like it has also this shot at the end, when they see the snake again, all those army guys have like screaming with these huge guns, like these over the top war battles. And I really love the first action scene when they meet the snake for the second time, and they all use it's almost superhero like how they attack the snake by flying around and screaming and using all their powers and all the Dutch angles on the camera work, I really enjoyed that. That was already the uniqueness of the movie, and then it didn't even start yet. Then we didn't even get to the modern. Oh, here's the shot. I mean, it's like, look at the exaggerated gun with this guy just hanging in the tree shooting at the snake, and then at the end you have a similar type scene with a bigger army. And of course, that's not even the story. That we're not even talking about the snake girl herself, who is trapped in the city and how she has to cope with the modern life. So, I thought this was a cool movie. But I have to ask you something, and maybe it was lost in translation. Maybe I didn't get it. But why the hell did the guy sacrifice himself at the end?
Hey, what do you mean?
The lead dies. The lead guy, he gets the girl back to her environment, and then this bad guy who wants this power of the snake to heal himself, basically he says to the guy, I will take what is I will take what I deserve, and then he lets himself get shot, and then he dies right there.
I don't remember him. Oh my god, I only watched the movie 4 days ago.
Or maybe you didn't pay attention to that part, but I didn't get it, and maybe I have to watch it again, preferably with someone who understands the Chinese language, in order to explain to me why that happened. Or maybe it's a cultural thing, but I didn't get it. He was more like, because in my opinion, everything went well. I mean, the bad guys didn't get what they want. The girl was back. The snake was saved. Everyone was happy, and then he still was like, "Yeah, this is my fault. I'll die for it." I'm like, "What? Like, why?"
My only thing is it could be a kind of Chinese regulation thing that they might have. Maybe that's something that the government asked them to do.
Karma thing. I don't know. I guess I'll have to rewatch it with some more knowledgeable about the culture, in order maybe to explain to me why that choice is made at the end, because and maybe it's the super good reason that makes the movie just even better. But yeah, that was one of my favorites. What do you think?
So there was a couple things. Firstly, it gives off a very big, strange Jungle Book vibe to start with.
Okay.
I was waiting for the girl to start speaking fluent Chinese when they first met. I'm thinking, oh, please don't do this. When I see movies like this, my brain switches off from the fantasy of the movie and it starts moving into the annoying practical stuff. So all I'm thinking of is, why doesn't she have any underarm hair?
Right.
Right. This is the shit I think of, right? Why is her actual hair so long? Who's cutting her hair?
Okay. How come she has a nice perm? But I guess that's why you missed the guy dying at the end.
I did. How does she handle her monthly lady things? Like, these are the things that were going through my head. Like, her loinclothes should be covered in blood, I'm thinking. And and in reality, she should be a far more feral person when she eats. Like the scenes where she's looking at the cat are hilarious. The scene where she decides to eat the cat food, where she rejects the snacks, I like that bit because she sees all that processed food. Where she goes and sleeps in the bathtub is just odd, because she would never have seen a bathtub, let alone a bed. That was the other thing I'm thinking. This girl must stink, right?
Yeah,
she lives in the jungle.
And then you have this gorgeous professor, nice and clean and showered, who throws himself on
herself at him,
herself on the lead, and then he just like, nah, I'd rather have Max Stinky over there.
Yeah, she was super pretty. The girl was ridiculously pretty.
And then you don't smell it anymore. I guess that's the moral of the story.
I also thought it was really weird how a giant snake was able to come to the city, and it was there for at least a day before people noticed and were
also hanging out in the trees, right?
Yeah,
he was so big, but he was hanging in the tree.
So I was very curious about that aspect of it. Otherwise, I thought a movie about a woman and her snake was quite cute. It's not exactly the old traditional snake type movies that even Walter was thinking of. There certainly was some kind of link between her and the snake, but
Yeah,
and that's never explained. And of course, we don't want to know. We don't want to know why there's a woman living with a snake in jungle,
yeah,
who's
that's
a
true.
massive.
The connection is never
Yeah.
established. At least in
Mhm.
Snake 3, we know why the big snake reacts that way to the kid because we
Yes.
saw it. He has the same smell.
Mm.
So that
But
is
but this and I actually kind of like the idea when the crazy scientist goes, "I'm going to give you this. What is it? 5 square kilometers of land, and this will
mm.
be where the snake and the girl will live." And no, it's not good enough. I mean,
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I mean,
I
to
thought that
be
was a
honest,
good
the
deal
girl
too.
cannot live in the normal world anyway. I mean,
No,
she's totally whack.
no, and the scenes where she's dressed up as a model and she's walking around with all the fancy clothes and stuff, I'm just like, I get it,
Yeah,
it's cute, but it didn't suit the
it's
film.
nice. It's just cute. It's like for this movie, I accept it. It's fine.
But it was a
Sure,
fun film.
I do think that it was what, an hour and 10 minutes because all these movies are around that. I
Mm-hmm.
think this movie would be good for a remake and then answer all those questions that you have, and then try to make a good 2 hour feature with more depth and more explanation. I mean, but I would definitely keep the action because the action scenes were awesome. I thought they were super cool.
I'm more surprised it was never turned into an actual TV series. So
Yeah,
Chinese probably would have turned that into a better TV series, and
yeah,
you know,
it could have been,
8 or 10
these
parts would have been great.
I think this is the thing. It's one of those movies you have to have a snake in it, and the director's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make something like this. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
make it romantic. I'm gonna get inspired by Sheena. I want this jungle girl. Let's
yeah.
do it." And and then that leads me to the next one, Monty Python 2, because
Oh,
that guy,
Monty
he really
Python.
wanted to make a comedy out of it. I mean, what I like about that movie is the acting, especially from that son of the
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 bad
owner.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just I wouldn't call him a bad guy. He just But anyway, yeah, the son of that guy. He's acted so over the top, but I kind of dig it. It's like it's so ridiculous. This
this guy
guy,
here. Yeah,
and of course the comedy moments that come out of nowhere. I like the funniest moments. I think are when the one guy takes the hose and hoses away the snakes, and then you see all these people around him like enjoy looking at him with a big smile, like there's our savior to this one cop. I
oh,
have
there's the
I
dude
have
running around in just his underwear.
yeah, and then his pants falls down.
Yes.
I have shots of that. How the people are looking at him, like super, like it is so exaggeratedly Disney-esque acting. Like also this shot with this guy.
Yeah.
This guy is also in one of the other movies, by the way. I noticed.
Mhm.
Let me see the ship. Oh, here is like the hair is in the wind, and they're like, "Ooh, savior!" While the guy is there with his hose,
Yeah.
trying to and then all these people. Also, the next shot, you also have all these people very with full glee and happiness looking at them work because they feel saved, and then of
But they
course
also start worrying about their refunds because their holidays are ruined. I believe even they start complaining that
yeah, also, yeah, and then of course this scene will end with his pants falling down, which is again very look at these happy people like, yeah, he's attacking the snakes. And again, I thought that was funny. That the movie definitely has funny moments. I thought that although not like set up, but very well developed during the movie, let's say.
Mhm.
I also like this guy that he is so has this gold digging girlfriend,
Oh
and then
yeah.
when then the bad guy uses her as bait, that he's constantly complaining because he actually likes her. He doesn't want and the guy's like, oh, if you have money, you can get whoever you want. What do you? She's just a gold digger anyway. And he's like, yeah, but I like this one, and then he's like very despair that he has to use her as bait. Like those things are like, it has an absurdity and a Disney-esque humor to it that I could appreciate. Besides that, I didn't think that the movie. Oh, another thing that I thought was super cool was the fight scene in the toilet.
I wanted
and
to
then,
mention that. Thank
and they
you.
destroy the entire toilet.
Thank you for mentioning that
Yes, I
because
thought that was great. I mean, when I saw this, like, that's how you make a low budget movie. I mean, you just destroy the entire fucking. You just build. It looks crappy. It looked cheap, but you destroy the whole thing, and that just makes it up for it. It's like it was perfect.
So when I did a review about this film, I mentioned the toilet scene because
Yeah.
no one ends up wet. They destroy the entire thing, and they do a good job. They destroy it in about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah. But everything else just falls apart like a cart house every time they touch something.
Absolutely,
like everything is made out of wax. I mean, it is clearly inspired by that Mission Impossible movie, you know, where Tom Cruise fights Henry Cavill, that big toilet fight scene, where they also just slam each other in the toilet bowls and shit. But
yeah,
this entire because that movie also ends up that they're just standing face to face, but the entire toilet is destroyed. And then this is the same thing, only the difference is in Mission Impossible they are soaking wet, as far as I remember. Here nobody gets wet, but I just that's the only point they're missing. But I really like the fact that they totally destroyed. They made this tiny cheap set, but they totally destroyed, and everything breaks. Toilet bowls, sinks,
glass.
Everything.
I think the glass falls off twice.
The entire mirror falls up on Guy, which I don't even know if that was an accident or not.
Yeah, I think that was an accident because it doesn't look like it should have happened.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you would plan that. It like. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was good. And then besides with the comedy moments, the overacting, it clearly was going for the comedy. Yeah, it was very enjoyable, although not the best of the four, I would say.
So I noticed that you're missing screenshots of the lady in the film. You don't have any screenshots of her.
Oh yeah, true. Of the lead, you mean?
The
lead lady. Yeah, true.
So this is one of the first monster movies I ever watched, Chinese monster movies. And this one was very clear in its message that environmental damage or environmental pollution will cause a change in the ecosystem. And there is a very slap-hazard, hilarious scene where the guys are just dumping I can't remember exactly what it is they're dumping, but they're just dumping bags of it in the water.
Bags of little shit that is like protein or something, like some stuff that would change the environment.
Yeah, and they're just dumping bags of it in there, and you couldn't make it any more obvious. Then to make it even more obvious is when these two get together, and the son on the left is clearly into whatever the scheme is. And the father doesn't really want anything to do with it. Now, this movie, there's a shot. These two guys I love because I think if I remember correctly, the guy in the back, it's his first day on the job.
Yeah.
So that's played up really well. This scene here, if you notice.
Also, this guy, by the way, before you continue with it, this guy was like an action hero. He could do anything. And it's so funny that all the people in suits were way stronger than any thug in the movie.
Yes. And not only that, but he could manage a hotel really well as well, but yet was very clueless that the woman was trying to hit on him. And the obvious sexual tension between the two of them was incredible, to the point where he had to use his daughter to actually get involved with it. And his daughter, who absolutely hated him, by the way. But you'll notice that they keep calling the hotel a different name, but behind him, in big writing, is a completely different name for the hotel. So
okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, someone made a bit of a boo-boo when they did this. I think this was shot in one of those movie cities where they do this stuff.
Maybe they didn't change the name, or they changed it wrong, which happens.
True. I think there's some very interesting action scenes in this. So I think this scene leads into that bar scene where they're all playing around in the bar, which I think
also
happens
a lot of
directly
destruction,
after.
by the way, in the bar fight.
Exactly. More destruction there. Sorry, I'm having to get rid of this spammer.
Yeah, this bot keeps spamming our live stream. Now it's the same somebody. One. Wait a minute. First, you have girls here watch stream, and then online strips without clothing. How can you strip without clothing? Don't you need clothing in order to strip?
Oh, there you go. I can actually get rid of the user. All right. The effects in this one are quite poor, unfortunately. That you can tell what's going on. This is another film that has a making of at the end, but it's very clear a lot of green screening was going on in there, especially at the end when they are catching the snake with the big net, where they lure it into the warehouse. There's a lot of obvious special effects that have gone on here, but it was cute. These guys had obviously had a lot of fun making this film, and it comes across in just how genuine it feels, but also how ridiculous. Like, I don't buy for a second that this guy is a serious actor. He just, the look of him says, be a great actor. But yeah, he pulls off the role so well, and so does the girl. So, and to top it off...
I noticed that everyone was quite, when the movie just started, all the actors we saw are very normal looking. They're none of them are glamorous. They're very normal looking. And I noticed this guy is also in Snakes. He was one of the guys, the soldiers dying early on.
Well, I noticed that he pulls off his role quite well. He's very, very funny, especially when he's looking for his glasses. Speaking of snakes, I'm pretty sure the guy that gets his middle finger eaten by the snake, I'm pretty sure that's the director of the film.
I thought the director was the guy who said, "I am in Broadway, give me the seat."
Oh,
maybe I didn't see it correctly. That's what I thought that I saw in the making of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the director was acting in that film.
Yeah, he was definitely in it. The same with Snake. If you look at the making of, the director was also one of the weaker soldiers in the movie that probably just died very early on.
It's great. It's great. All right, so that's the 4 films.
Those are the 4 movies. I think it's time for the fight.
Ooh, the fight.
Round 1
is, which of the 4 movies had the better snake?
Well, let me quickly. Snake had a beautiful snake in the beginning, and it has a good snake. Snake 3 is super awesome. Snake Girl is a lesser good snake. And Monty Python 2, I have to go for Snake 3.
Yep. Visually looking, I don't think any of the snakes actually look good visually, but Snake 3 does have out of all of them, the best looking snake.
Yeah.
I think personality, character wise, Snake Girl's snake actually was better because it seemed a lot more loyal. It had a strong connection to her. And it was also gentle to like the little girl. It didn't eat the little girl on the street.
It looked most like a real snake. I must say that the snake from Snake 3, although it looked cool, and that's why I'm choosing it, it does look like a dragon. Like
yeah. So we're split on this one. I actually liked Snake Girl snake.
Okay, well, I'm going for Snake 3 snake.
Beautiful. All right, so let me write this down so I don't forget. So R1, we have Snake Girl and Snake. Cool, 1 point each.
All right.
Now the next one we're going on to is which one had the better effects? Now, this is going to be a tough one.
So which one? What do you think? Speaking out loud.
So I'm going to go through them all quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think Monty Python's had great effects because there's a lot of obvious screen compositing with 3D going on there that doesn't look good. Snake loses it in the other areas. So for the fish scene. Oh, by the way, the fish scene, how fucking long does that go for?
Yeah, it is. That is, yeah, true.
It is brutal.
That's the problem with a movie like that. Is like you want to see the snake, or at least you expect to see a snake, and then it's just monster after monster.
Yeah. And Snake loses again because of its visual effects. Now, and the puffer fish is the main culprit here. When there's scenes of that puffer fish going in, I don't like the visual effects of that one at all.
Okay.
Snake Girl looks fine, but I think in sheer effects is in variety of the monsters and the fights and what happens. While it doesn't look spectacular, I think Snake 3 Certainly with those dinosaurs,
Oh,
I think
definitely.
Snake 3
Yeah.
pulls it out with effects. That's my
And
opinion.
also, like I said, those composite effects with like the Jeep at the end is just it looks cool.
So I'm voting
I
Snake
think I'm
3.
gonna add a round 4
Okay.
in a moment. But first, round 2, I will have to give this one to Snake 3, personally.
So Snake 3 takes a quick lead here with 2 points.
Yeah, although what you said about Snake Girl with the snake, yeah, I'm going for the cooler looking one, and you actually went for character.
Yeah. But that's fine. We're allowed to. You
But I also like
that.
I also kind of like the fact that Snake 3 had a connection with the boy, although we know it's just nature and superficial, and it's just based on smell. Okay, I keep it for Snake 3, and then for round 2, I also have to give it to Snake 3 because it did have the better effect.
Oh, sorry, you went with Snake 3. I thought you went with the first Snake. Okay, Snake 3. Yep.
No, I go with
Change
Snake
that.
3.
All right, so the next round 3 is
which one do you have for Snake for round 2?
Snake 3.
Okay,
I love the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are great.
The dinosaur look.
That's what won it for me.
Yeah.
Not the snakes, strangely, the dinosaurs. Better Women, I think this is a very obvious category. I think there's a very obvious winner with this.
Snake had the tough girl and the doctor. That's 2.
And the girl with the camera.
I didn't like the girl with the camera. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
But okay, for the girl with the camera. Snake 3 had none, really, to be honest.
They were all professor's sidekick, but no.
Yeah, but she tried too hard. She tried to be like a 12-year-old anime girl, but she was clearly too old, and she also had no purpose in the movie. So it's like, at least with what is it? What was the one with the girl with the shark? Not a horror shark.
Huge Shark.
Huge Shark. In Huge Shark, at least the girl, although maybe in generally not my what I would normally choose, she was just so cool and so well. Her role was so awesome that I could still choose her for the coolest female part.
Yeah.
That made her attractive. But Snake 3 doesn't have anything, in my opinion. Just fine, good looking women, but no how you call that, ones that stand out. Snake had 2 standouts. Snake Girl, of course, the Snake Girl, but also let's not forget the rapey doctor, who was also quite attractive. And then Monty Python 2, I don't know, maybe you could go for the lead lady, but I thought
she's an honest looking lady.
She's super honest looking. It's just, I guess it's also for everybody's different because it's the perspective of what you think with Better Women. Personally, I'm looking at it very superficially at this moment, although last time I did choose the coolest, strongest woman, so it's not that superficial. Well, I'm a little sad that you didn't watch Metamorphosis this week, Dan, because although I gave it as last minute addition, so I understand that it fell through the cracks. And it's also 5 movies. Hello, we have more things to do. But
I've still got Elden Ring to play.
That lead lady, in my opinion, has a little bit more of a lasting effect.
Quite got her the better photo of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I also didn't. I tried my. I didn't have that much. That much time, and technically, I did focus on the action a little bit. Oh, this is good.
That's a good shot. Now, Snake Girl wins this for me.
Okay.
I think she is super pretty. I love her personality in the film. I love her creativeness. I love the scene at the end where she's sitting next to the lady having a lollipop with her, copying how she's sitting, and then runs over to the guys to finish off their chess game. And just the personality and the humor that she added to the movie, as well as being remarkably beautiful. Snake Girl, without a doubt. So, just to give you a heads up, we've done the 3 rounds. We've got an even split between.
But did I give my opinion on round 3? I didn't.
Pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure you said Snake Girl.
Okay, okay. I
No,
guess I did.
well, is it different? Let me know.
No. I think it is Snake Girl because although I thought the snake, the woman in Snake, the tough woman, let's say, she was
Yeah,
pretty
she's
cool, but
pretty cool.
she wasn't that cool. Um, yeah, I will. Yeah, she's cool though. She's a cool
She is cool.
character, and the
Yeah.
doctor is also pretty nice. Um, no, I'm sorry, I have to give it to Snake. I'm
You're
going for
giving it
Snake.
to Snake. Okay.
I'm giving it to Snake. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
But
that
I do
took me
want to
by
add
surprise.
a round four.
Yes,
And
around
a
four.
round
What's
four,
round
you already
four?
know the answer because I'm picking it very directly. Which one? Oh, now I said it. I already made a problem. Okay, the best action scene. Which of
Best action.
these four? Yeah. And I already said I really like the action scene from Snake Girl, so I was thinking Snake Girl immediately because I just like how the action is portrayed and I want to give it extra point for that. But then I'm reminded by the bathroom fight scene, the toilet scene of Monty Python 2.
So
No, I
without a
have
doubt,
to
the
give it.
toilet scene of Monty Python is hilarious.
Yeah, but I have to give it to Snake Girl because I think how it's portrayed, how it's filmed, how that actually also the music in the background. I have to give it to Snake Girl for that action scene, and I just want to give it extra attention, and that's why I even create a round four just to mention it again and give it an extra point for that.
So now you're putting me under pressure because I'm trying to think of the fights in or the action in the other films. So when I think of Snakes versus Dinosaurs, I think of the bus crash. It was a pretty decent scene. I think of the way that they try to stop the dinosaur at the end of the film by the chick with the pigtails throwing in the bomb or something towards the end. I think that was good. Oh, we've got our spammer back. Bloody hell.
It's back?
Yep.
I don't see anything new. Oh,
it's coming. I've blocked it straight away.
Wow.
Then I think of Snake, because I watched it last night, so it should be pretty fresh in my head. I like the exploding fruit. I think that was hilarious.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I also like the scene where the guy slides on his knee and cuts the gut of the snake open, but yet nothing happens. Like there's no guts fall out, which I was a bit disappointed in. I'm probably going to give it to Snake for the ridiculous butterfish scene that just keeps going and is so hilarious because
also
the chick,
where the badass chick just slices them out of the sky with her
but first how she jumps in the tackle box to get away from them. That scene makes absolutely no sense at all. Like I don't understand why you've got fish that fly past them and don't attack anyone, like obviously the main characters. But that was the start of a bloodbath in that film. I was thinking in my head, if I was to do a kill count on this film, we'd be up to 10 or 12 just on that scene alone. So the original Snake gets it for me in regards to action scenes because I loved that fish scene. Even though it was ridiculous, I loved it.
Okay.
But the toilet scene definitely is a runner-up.
Oh, the toilet scene is a honorable mention.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So what is the score for
unfortunately, Monty Python's got 0. So Monty Python ends up with 0.
Okay.
So we have a tie. So Snake ended up with 2 points.
Okay.
Snake 3 and Snake Girl both end up with 3 points. So we need a way to break it up. We need a tiebreaker.
Okay. So we need a round 5.
We do need a round 5.
So what do you? Okay.
Now, because round 5, I think will make it very if I tell you what the category is, I think it'll make it obvious
just do something
like.
let's just do best story
Between those two.
Yeah, it's a hard choice.
It is because I think Snake 3 is just a vessel to get a dinosaur and a snake to fight each other. So there is no story there.
Oh, then Snake Girl is more story. Okay, what is your suggested category?
No. I'm not bad with that one because that gives Snake Girl the win.
Yeah, that's true. That Snake Girl definitely wins. Yeah.
And it's funny
I
because
wouldn't
coming into
expect though.
tonight,
I
yeah,
wouldn't expect Snake Girl to win, but I think we both
no,
want Snake Girl to win. So Snake Girl won this week.
yeah. And the strangest thing is, I would never fully class it as a proper monster movie, only because of the fact that it's, like you say, it's a freaking romance movie.
Yeah,
It
it's
is a
with a
romantic
giant
movie.
snake.
Yeah. So it's really weird that of all the films, it wins Best Snake Monster Movie. Now, to be fair, I didn't watch Metamorphosis.
That's true. Well,
And
that one is about a shape shifting, not shape shifting, but more like a the ongoing development, evolving dinosaur. So the snake is just there to fight it. It's the opposite of Snake 3.
And there's
But
probably about
just check
20
it
other
out.
snake movies we didn't watch too, by the way.
Oh, there's a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sand Siege Python. There's one I can think of. It's about
the island
in the
of the
sand.
snake.
Yeah. So we've got quite a few that we are missing out
There's
on. But
this is just a selection, so everybody should just watch whatever they can find and find their own
Absolutely.
best snake movies. But for today, our choice goes to Snake Girl. It's won after 5 rounds and a little bit of a manipulation.
Yep.
But yeah, so that leaves us to basically after the winner for this week. Dan, what are we watching next week?
Next week is a retrospect. Next week we are celebrating.
Or next episode. Sorry, not next week.
Next
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Yeah,
time.
next episode we are celebrating a favorite of probably both of us. I know definitely of mine. Growing up, that I've been very disappointed in his movies for the last 15 years, but it's Jackie Chan's birthday this month in April. And so we thought we would spend one of our episodes maybe talking about Jackie Chan films, which ones we liked and where we were introduced to it and what we thought made us kind of like.
I think Jackie because Chan. I am not that connoisseur of Jackie Chan. I just I watched them when I was young, but I don't remember which one were Jackie Chan and which one aren't because I just saw a shitload with Hong Kong. At that point, his name wasn't, that famous yet. That came later. So I did see a lot of them, but I would have a hard time to know which one is which. Like I remember a few episodes ago, I said I like this one movie that I thought was Jackie Chan, and then later when I researched it, it probably wasn't a Jackie Chan movie. So it's like, a lot of movies from back in the day kind of bleed into each other, and then I just don't know which one was what.
Yeah.
I think for Jackie Chan, I just have to go to the where it started, where it originated. I did jump in later with Jackie Chan, so I do not have too best of a memory or retrospective on him. So I think we should get some guests up in this hizzy for the next episode.
You put me under pressure, so I'll see if I can find a guest.
We have to get the usual suspects. We have to get the enthusiast in here. We have to get Walter in here.
The problem with the enthusiast is right now it's probably 7 a.m. for him, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to drag him out of bed.
I'll ask him. Have to alter the time for once to get him part of the show. I see that he's been doing good stuff on his channel. He's doing whole retrospectives, hour-long videos over Japanese Oscar-winning movies and stuff like that. So he's been killing it. Walter. Oh, definitely. I mean, let's try to find a good time for all of them. Let's get them all in because I think
we'll see what I can come up with. So we might be a bit different next week. We'll see what time we can squeeze in. But otherwise, I've actually had a lot of fun talking about snakes, just as much as I had talking about sharks.
This was a very casual episode. And to end it off, I would like to have a little interview with you, Dan, because I've been, following the Asian film fans and Arty Dans channel. So I'm wondering what's upcoming in the next 2 weeks. What can people look forward to? Are there new reviews? Are there smut files coming? Another Cat 3 maybe? Because I'm a big smut file watcher.
So the Arty Dans is a bit dead.
Oh, really?
I don't really know what to do with this channel. I'm very tempted to do another Smut Files, and I probably
Smut
will.
Files is on Arty Dans, right?
It is. It's on.
Maybe you should change it to the Smut channel.
Well, I thought of that. Actually, I have thought of that. but I need to probably then disassociate it with Asian film fans. So maybe
Oh yeah,
something
definitely.
I can work on. With Asian film fans, though, we are looking at a lot more of spotlights into actors. That seems to
Okay.
have been quite popular lately. We're looking into maybe some Korean actors and spotlighting them. And we've also brought back trailers to the channel.
I noticed. Yeah, the trailers are back. How come?
Yes.
Because you had a
Because
different channel, right, for trailers.
we figured we might have found out a way to run trailers and not get into trouble with YouTube. So
Okay.
we're hoping that we've actually worked that out and we can go fine. So not only are we doing the trailer, but we're also kind of giving a mini synopsis of the film. We're introducing who the actors are, the directors are. So we're not just showing the trailer. We're actually giving a bit of news about it. And so far, as long as we pick the right trailer, that seems to be working for us as well. So let's hope that continues. We just put a Japanese trailer on for Violence Action, which I thought sounded really awesome.
Sounds good.
It is, but unfortunately, we don't have a Japanese speaker who could translate the trailer, and we kind of wanted to get it up quickly. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. We have no English subtitles on it.
On our side, it would be probably not fast enough if we would.
And hence I didn't bug you guys because I thought it's, no one's getting paid for this, so why would I?
Yeah, then we wouldn't do it.
Interfere. Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you. But in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be looking at Jackie Chan stuff.
Yeah, Jackie Chan. Hopefully with some guests.
Great guy. Hopefully with some guests.
Oh, by the way, the smut files are on Artsy Dan. The category 3 as well. That's also Cat 3.
Yeah, okay. I probably should look at one of those soon too. Been meaning to look at more of those Herman Yao untold story movies. I loved the last one with he chops people up and turns them into char siu.
But what is like? Is there a big video coming up for the coming 2 weeks?
No, there isn't, unfortunately. One thing
there is. There is a live stream coming up in 2 weeks about Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Actually, what I am working on is a kill count video for Bunshin Sabo Hoichi the Earless.
Oh,
I rewatched it again yesterday.
We can look forward to that. Is that for the Asian film fans?
It is for the Asian film fans channel. I've added a little bit of humor into it, so it's a bit funny. And hopefully, because the one that we did, Bunshin Sabo 2 kill count, I thought came out quite funny, blowing my own horn here. So I thought I'd like to give it another shot and see what we get with Hoichi the Earless.
All right. Okay. Does that come out in the next 2 weeks or?
It is, unless I get struck by a copyright claim on it, which is very likely. Yes, it will come out in the next 2 weeks. What about you? What's on your agenda?
Well, for me, we don't really have anything coming up product-wise because we are developing at this moment. The movie we shot last year in October, we are now doing the real heavy lifting in the editing department. So I've been going to color correction sessions and they've been recording the soundtrack for it. So I've been a little bit putting my finger in that category, let's say in that project. In the meantime, by the way, because I have a TV show that will come out around July on Japanese television, I am actually prepping that in order to also ship it off to color grading and audio mixing. So that's what I'm working on myself. And after that, of course, I have to finish my work on sheets, which which should come out this year, Halloween. And at this moment, we're trying to get the 4th CultureSHOCK Japan movie out. We try to get it out around June, July, but that is not certain because that is not in our hands momentarily. We have someone helping us out with that film, and it depends on how much time they will need, because I know there's also going to be some reshoots probably. But anyway, hopefully it comes out, and if you don't hear about it around June, July, then maybe it will never come out.
But I'm hoping to hear from Glyn that he actually got your package, because I haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah, that doesn't. That's okay. It will take a long time because of the war and the COVID. It seems that England is not that easy accepting packages, so they are the normal service we normally would use does work for Europe, but because they're out of Europe, all of a sudden the packages won't go as fast as normal, so it can take a long time. So I'm sorry, Glenn, you have to wait a little bit. It's coming there, but I'm actually maybe even thinking about a alternative solution for that as well. But I'm not. But it probably take a little bit. I hope to have it in your hands before June, July, and it sounds like then. Yeah, to be honest, that's how long it will take. It's crazy.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
It's that is just because, and I don't understand this. Normally, I send stuff out before, and it would be like still a few weeks, but not months. But that's what they're saying. It's saying it's going to take months because of the regulations with the COVID and the regulations with the current war. And it seems that England themselves are also not the easiest to accept things, and that's kind of part of the problem.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's in Wales, so I'm hoping you sent it to Wales and not England.
Well, his address just says England. So
did it? Oh, okay. I thought he must have sent it to a different address then. Okay, good one.
Anyway,
this is why you're not getting it.
I sent it to the address that I got. So
okay, cool.
But it will take a bit. So please be patient. But it is on its way. We didn't forget about it. It will be there, hopefully this year.
I hope so too, because I'd like to see what he thinks about the movies, and then maybe get us some opinions on him, and maybe get him record something so we can show it on the show.
A little video of him having the discs and then flushing them through the toilet or whatever he's going to do.
No. He's got a decent collection of Asian films, and it will look really good on his shelf. I think he's looking forward to adding them to his collection.
Yes. Well, I will look forward to see a picture of having them in his collection. That would be nice. So, okay. So I guess that was it for today. It was nice chatting with you.
As always. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
I will see you in 2 weeks.
For the chaos. See you, buddy.
See ya.
Wait. That's better. I'm still an amateur at this.